Good morning, beautiful people. I'm excited to come to you today again, and it's gonna be a little different. We're in a different place, different space, but it's all right. We're gonna still make it happen. Once we make a committed decision, we can always make it happen. We don't know how we will find a way, but we can find a way. This morning, I'm coming. I came from Toronto this morning. Good morning, Justine. I literally just drove from Toronto to be here to speak to you all this morning because I said I'm going to go live every day from 7 to 8. So I am committed. If you're committed, let's go. All right, I hope you all did your exercise from yesterday. Yesterday's exercise was to sit still, inhibit your thoughts, and relax. And once you master that, we could build upon it today. Now, folks, to tell you, just to give you a little quick backstory, I was in Toronto last night, and we celebrated life, and I literally drove from Toronto at, I think I left at 6 or a little few minutes to 6. And I fucking reached here 7. They told me I was gonna reach here 7:11, but I actually reached here 6:57. So I find that incredible. Maybe I was speeding a little bit, but that's all right. Whatever it takes to make it happen. That's the power of making a decision, a committed decision. It could transform your life, and it could do it right now. This was on the spur of a moment, like on the 31st of May, or the 30th of May actually, I decided I'm going to go live every day for the June. I didn't know how it was going to work out. I just thought, between 7 and 8, I should be free every day. So let's just do it. I can do it. But, life doesn't work out that way. It always gives you these obstacles, but the obstacle is the way. The obstacle you have, whatever is objecting, that is telling you there's something more there. You need to look deeper and see what it is really trying to tell you, because it's something to progress. So I look at problems differently now. So let's go, beautiful people. Part 4, Master Key System, Part 4. Let's go. So the I, this is gonna be powerful and deep. Now I hope you all did your exercises from the previous days, because it's gonna be important now to understand these concepts as we move forward. Okay. So the I of you is not the physical body. This is simply an instrument which the I uses to carry out its purposes. The I cannot be the mind, for the mind is simply another instrument which the I uses to think, reason, and plan. And when I say I refer to the I that you mean when you say I am, or I do, or I go. When you say those things, that I, what is that I? It can't be a physical body, obviously, and it can't be the mind either. So what is it? The I must be something which controls and directs the body and the mind. Something which determines what they shall do and how they shall act. When you come into a realization of which determines what they shall do and how they shall act. Oh, this is beautiful. When you come into a realization of the true nature of this I, you will enjoy a sense of power which you have never known before. You probably thought it was impossible. No, this cannot be real. I'm telling you, it's real. I hope you could see me properly on Instagram. I don't know how to adjust this because my phone died on me, so I had to put it to charge and record this a certain way, so that it's complicated. But we're still here giving you the value. So if you could see me, you could hear me, that is enough. Right? Your personality is made up of countless individual characteristics, peculiarities, habits, and traits of character. These are the result of your former method of thinking, but they have nothing to do with the real I. I mean, that's a little deep. I'm just going to go straight through this because today I'm on a a little bounded with time, so we got to move efficiently today. But really, I mean, you could. This the beauty of this. You could pause this if you're watching it on the replay. You could pause it and you could go back and listen again to really understand. If you missed something, if you don't really understand, just go back, listen again. It will be so valuable for you folks. I'm telling you, your personality is made up of these like innumerable characteristics. But you are a whole person. How to be whole. This is what I want to teach people and businesses. How to be whole. How to be holy. Not that kind of holy. How to be wholesome. When you say I think, the I tells the mind what it shall think. When you say I go, the I tells the physical body where it shall go. The real nature of this I is spiritual and is the source of the real power which comes to men and women when they come into a realization of their true nature. And this is powerful. The greatest and most marvelous power which this I has been given is the power to think. But few people know how to think constructively or correctly, and so consequently they achieve only indifferent results. My friend was telling me yesterday, she was like, wow, Buju, I was in the back of this car and I didn't put my seatbelt on and I just keep thinking about it. I was like, something was gonna happen. I didn't put my why didn't I put my seatbelt on? And something's gonna happen. And she kept thinking about it and she fell asleep. And then, they almost got in an accident. The guy had to mash the brakes really hard and she was the only one without her seatbelt and she fly forward and hit her head and her knees on the seat. It's a little funny too, but she's just like, wow. Did I manifest that? And I was like, of course you did. She's like, this manifestation, it works, it happens. I'm like, yes. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand. It is real. It sounds like it sounds woo-woo and, really high out there. Like, it's real, but it is very real. It happens every day. But we just don't take the time to recognize it. So the greatest power this I has been given is the power to think. And if we think constructively and correctly, the power that belongs to us is wonderful. Most people allow their thoughts to dwell on selfish purposes, the inevitable result of an infantile mind. As you develop, you're supposed to mature beyond that point of selfishness. You need that for a certain stage of survival. When you're now growing up and developing, you have to look out for yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you don't give to yourself, you will have nothing to give to other people. But after that point, when you mature past a certain stage, you realize it's about contribution. It's past, when you pass growth stage, you go to contribution. You have to give to the people. You have something within you that you need to just release, and the people need it. So when you reach that point, it's awesome. So most people allow their thoughts to dwell on these selfish purposes, but we can go past that. When a mind becomes mature, it understands that the germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. It takes a little maturity to understand that. And that's the process of growth. So we don't need to look at selfish thoughts, We are going to engage in business in a manner where we provide more for all and less to none. So the trained mind knows that every transaction must benefit every person who is in any way connected with the transaction, and any attempt to profit by the weakness or ignorance or necessity of another will inevitably operate to your disadvantage. So you might think, these people are always trying to sell me something. No, well, this came to me just yesterday. I was just thinking about it. I was like, wow, we are buying things all the time. So why do we feel a kind of way or feel bad about selling things, asking people to buy? You buying all the time, you buy every day, you know? So if you're buying, nothing should be wrong with selling. Because if you're just buying and not selling, then you're creating an imbalance in your life. So this is really powerful for us to, change and shift that mindset. This is because the individual is a part of the universal. A part cannot antagonize any other part, but on the contrary, the welfare of each part depends upon a recognition of the interests of the whole. Okay, I have to read that again. The welfare of each part depends upon a recognition of the interests of the whole. Again, my whole goal, my dream, my vision is to make people whole. I want you to be whole. Be a whole person, fully functional, not operating at half capacity or efficiency, to integrate yourself, all the different parts to make it work together in harmony. That is what it means to be whole. Those who recognize this principle have a great advantage in the affairs of life. They do not wear themselves out. You think, okay, I have to work hard for success. I've literally went door to door knocking on successful people's houses. Well, I claim they're successful because, it's a beautiful house they have. So I assume they're successful, and that's how they got the house. I mean, it may not be the right assumption, but it doesn't matter. I knocked on the house, rang the doorbell, and I spoke to these people. And I asked them, wow, I told them first, I love your house, your home is beautiful, and I would like to achieve something like this in the future. How did you do it? Can you, give me some advice? Most of them tell me hard work, but I had to challenge that, I was like, it can't just be hard work because so much people work hard their whole life and never achieve these kinds of things. It's got to be more than that. And, eventually I got them to admit that, it'll take a little luck. First they say it's a little luck, and then I keep asking, and this one person told me, the luck that we say it is really about the associations you have. So it's the power of associations, your social environment. But we'll get to that later, folks. Just stick with me. Come back every day. We'll just get a little bit better every day. So, those who recognize this principle will have a great advantage in the affairs of life. They do not wear themselves out. You could be successful without all the stress. Obviously, success comes with a certain amount of stress, but it doesn't have to be overwhelmingly stressful all the time. You could succeed with ease. They can eliminate vagrant thoughts with facility. We don't entertain vagrant thoughts. I've gone and spoken to many people on the street. I've been very close to being on the street myself. And so I empathize with such people, and I speak to them, and I always try to help them, to better their lives. I have such a powerful example. Like, I was in Toronto, as I said last night. I just came from Toronto. And while I was walking the street last night, saw this guy. I don't want to be presumptuous, but I assume he was homeless, the way he presented himself. And I think I engaged with him, and he asked me for some change. And I was like, sure, I could give you change. I could change your life right now. And I started to talk to him, and I told him, I started to tell him that I believe each person was born with a purpose. You were born a leader. There's some greatness in you that you need to discover, your real self. And when I really started to talk to him, the guy started to walk away from me. I was shocked, this is, I think, probably the first time I've had a response like this. And he walked away, and I was like, I shake my pocket, because I had change in my pocket ready to give him. And I had more change in my wallet. I was going to give him money after I spoke to him, but it doesn't matter. I could have given him $1,000 and it wouldn't have changed his life unless he understood the principles I was trying to express to him, those ideas. The ideas, those concepts, that is what could change his life. Not the fucking money. He could take that money and he's just going to spend it out in a day, and it doesn't really benefit him. And then he just walked away. So I was like, wow, some will and some won't. Some will and some won't. And I'm not in control of that, As I say, I believe everyone was born with their purpose, but it's up for you to discover that and to become it and to share that gift with others, with humanity, because we could all benefit from it. But it's for you to decide to make that happen. You could be given everything you need to succeed, and still the decision is up to you if you're going to do it or not. And this is what blew my mind last night. I was like, oh my gosh, some people will and some people won't. I was so afraid to offend people and, to be polarizing and, because I'm like, I'm trying to reach all people. And I would love to reach all people, but if I also try to think practically, I'm not going to reach all people. I can't. There's some people who I'm just not meant to reach, I could only reach certain people. And so now I'm focusing more on becoming more findable to the people who already want what I have to offer, who are willing to buy it right now, instead of trying to find people to sell stuff to, That was a shift I made last night, and I think it's very powerful. Big up man like Estevan, dog. Oh, yes, G. I hope you're blessed, brother. I ain't hear from you in a while. I hope you're good, But I'm doing this every day. Live every day from 7 to 8. So come back every day. You'll get a little better every day as we grow together. So those who recognize this principle, as I said, will have great advantage in life. So they could readily concentrate to the highest possible degree on any subject. And we talked yesterday about how powerful concentration is, focus. Most millionaires and billionaires say that is the most important skill you could develop is focus. So they do not waste time or money upon objects which can be of no possible benefit to them. This is so interesting. So yesterday, as I went to Toronto, we went go-karting, I met up some friends and we went go-karting. So as we go to the go-karting place, I went to the people who was selling us the tickets, and I asked to speak to somebody from the sales team. And this lady there, I think she was the manager or the owner of the place, she came and she talked to me, and I was telling her that, it's a Saturday afternoon, prime time, and the place was kind of dead, and I was like, I think you could have more customers. Are you all looking for more customers? Could you all handle more customers? And she was like, yes, she would like. So I was like, okay, if I could build a structure for you, like a funnel that if you put $1 in and it gives you $2 out, how much would that be of value to you? And she's like, she's not really looking to buy anything right now. What's the cost? There's always a cost. I'm like, of course, there's always a cost. There's a cost and a benefit, There's always a trade-off in life. And that's the thing. But she was not willing. So I was like, I came back later and I was like, you know what? I believe in this so much that I am willing to build this for you for free. And if it works, then we could talk about payment. And still she was like, no, I'm not cost. So I'm like, okay, wow. Some people will and some people won't. But that kind of stuff, you don't let that stop you from taking action, right? The no's just get you closer to the yeses. Because, when she said no, I started thinking, okay, why she said no? How could I have presented this offer better in, a way that she would understood? When people say no, it really just means they need more information, essentially, It's not really no, it's just not yet. Because they just don't understand, this is something new. So they have this fear, they want to stay comfortable and they don't want to take too much risk. All of these things are going on in their head. So you have to get into that conversation that's going on in their head. But I'm going off on a tangent. Let's get back to this, right? If you cannot do these things, it is because you have thus far not made the necessary effort. Now is the time to make the effort. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. The result will be exactly in proportion to the effort expended. One of the strongest affirmations which you could use for the purpose of strengthening the will and realizing your power to accomplish is this statement. And I've been using it. I've been using it for the past couple of weeks, and it's been very powerful for me. It's simple. It's very simple. I can be what I will to be. I can be what I will to be. I leave now, bro. Shoot me your number. All right, brother. Appreciate you for coming on and joining me for this little time. Hope you got a little value in this short time. I will DM you after, and we could have some further conversations. Beautiful. So, I can be what I will to be. Just keep saying that. Repeat it to yourself over and over until it becomes your truth. I can be what I will to be. Every time you repeat it, realize who and what this I is. And go back. This is the same I when we say I am, I do, I am powerful, I am great, I am awesome. You keep saying I am. This I, what is this I? This I is very powerful. And every time you repeat it, just remember and realize what this I is. And repeat it over and over. I can be what I will to be. So try to come into a thorough understanding of the true nature of the I. If you do, you will become invincible. That is, provided that your objects and purposes are constructive and therefore in harmony with the creative principle of the universe. If you make use of this affirmation, you use it continuously, night and morning, and as often during the day as you think of it, and continue to do so until it becomes a part of you. Form the habit. I can be what I will to be. Unless you do this, you had better not start at all. Because modern psychology tells us that when we start something and do not complete it, or make a resolution and do not keep it, we are forming the habit of failure. Absolute ignoramus, I can't even say the word. But we are causing ourselves, we're building a habit of failure. And we don't want to do that to ourselves. If you do not intend to do a thing, do not start. If you do start, see it through even if the heavens fall. If you make up your mind to do something, do it. Let nothing, no one interfere. The I in you has determined, the thing is settled, the die is cast. There's no longer any argument. And I'm telling you folks, it is powerful. This is what is going on right now. I decided that I'm going to go live every day for this month. Right? It was based on a simple idea. One of my mentors said, if you go live every day for a year, you will never have to worry about money again. I don't want to worry about money ever again. So I'm taking the simple advice. And so I made a decision. The I. And a lot of things could happen. As I said last night, I was in Toronto. I literally just drove here. I didn't sleep last night. I drove here so that I could give you this mindset, this morning mindset mastery, this little value today. Because I made a decision. This I is powerful. If you carry out this idea, begin with small things which you know you can control and gradually increase the effort, but never under any circumstances allowing your I to be overruled. You will find that you can eventually control yourself, and many men and women have found to their sorrow that it is easier to control a kingdom than to control themselves. And I have found that true as well. It is easier to control a kingdom than to control yourself. So if you control yourself, you could control a kingdom. So there's always that flip side to it, right? But when you have learned to control yourself, you have found the world within, which controls the world without. You will have become irresistible. Men and things will respond to your every wish without any apparent effort on your part. Why do these successful people seem to succeed so effortlessly, so easily, It's just flow with them. It could flow with you too. It can. Remember, I can be what I will to be. Depending on how long I go today, maybe I might drop a little, some secret sauce. Actually, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow we're doing a review of the last 4 parts. So tomorrow might be a better day to do that. So I'll keep that for then. So come back, join me tomorrow, and we're going to have a little secret sauce tomorrow. I'm excited for that. So, this is not so strange or impossible as it may appear when you remember that the world within is controlled by the I, and that this I is a part or one with the infinite I, which is the universal energy or spirit, usually called God. Or you can call it whatever you want. Just understand what it is and what it does for you. This is not a mere statement or theory made for the purpose of, confirming or establishing an idea, but it is a fact which has been accepted by the best religious thought as well as the best scientific thought. Herbert Spencer said, for example, amid all the mysteries by which we are surrounded, nothing is more certain than that we are ever in the presence of an infinite and eternal energy from which all things proceed. When I just bask in that, I'm energized. I didn't sleep last night, and I don't need to sleep because I have endless energy. It's a beautiful thing. Lyman Abbott, in an address delivered before the alumni of Bangor Theological Seminary, he said, "We are coming to think of God as dwelling in man rather than as operating on men from without." This is powerful. God, or this infinite energy, acts within you. Within, not on you, but within, from within you. Jesus said the kingdom is within you. And it's here right now. It's here. Right now. Science goes a little way in its search and stops. Science finds the ever-present eternal energy, but religion finds the power behind this energy and locates it within man. But this is by no means a new discovery. The Bible says exactly the same thing, and the language is just as plain and convincing. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the living God? Here then is the secret of the wonderful creative power of the world within. Here is the secret of power, of mastery. To overcome does not mean to go without things. Self-denial is not success. We cannot give unless we get. We cannot be helpful unless we are strong. The infinite is not a bankrupt and is not bankrupt. And who are the representatives of this infinite power? We should not be bankrupt either. And if we wish to be of service to others, we must have power and more power. But to get it, we must give it. We must be of service. This is really the paradoxical law of the universe. Whatever you want, just give it and you will get it. Just give what you want and you'll get it. Give it away and you get it. It's so beautiful. Very counterintuitive. The more we give, the more we shall get. We must become a channel whereby the universal can express activity. The universal is constantly seeking to express itself, to be of service, and it seeks the channel whereby it can find the greatest activity, where it can do the most good, where it can be of the greatest service to mankind. God is constantly searching for the person who is willing to believe that they can do it. They can let God work through them and produce wonderful gifts for humanity to enjoy and to benefit from. But it takes a radical person to believe that, because when you first encounter your real self, you you don't, it's greater, so much greater than you even imagine or dream, that you don't believe it. If you believe that you are your real self when you first meet your real self, that's not your real self. No, there's no time when you actually encounter your real self that you believe that is you on the first time. If you do, then it's not your real self. I'm telling you. Right? And most of us have not met our real selves. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. Just come back every day. Just keep coming back. The universal cannot express through you as long as you are busy with your plans, your own purposes. So we need to quiet the senses and seek inspiration. Focus the mental activity on the within. Dwell in the consciousness of your unity with omnipotence. Still water runs deep. Contemplate the multitudinous opportunities to which you have spiritual access by the omnipresence of power. All power is always everywhere. So you always have access to all power. This is beautiful. So, we went to another place. We went to a bar later, right? Hoops or something it's called, I think. And so I go in and they go upstairs and start ordering the food and whatnot. I go and speak to the manager. This one of these ladies, this beautiful girl, came up and asked me if I needed some help. I was like, can I speak to someone on your sales team? She's like, like the manager or something? I'm like, yes, that would be lovely. So she goes and gets the manager. It took a little while. I waited a little bit. That's fine. Manager comes out and I start to talk to him. I'm like, this is such a beautiful place, because the aesthetics was really beautiful. And it's a Saturday evening and the place it's not full. There are a lot of empty chairs and places. I'm like, we could be doing better. So I asked him and he was like, usually on the weekends it is a little busier, but there's these events going on, sports and some other things going on, so that's why it's less. And I'm like, do you want more customers? He's like, yes, of course we want more customers. And I'm like, okay, we can get more customers. Let me build your funnel. And he's like, he's not the decision maker. It's really a group of it's kind of like a franchise, I think. There's a few different locations and there's like a group of people that manage it. So he gave me the email and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that email, because the money is in the list. You need to start growing your email list. And that's enough secrets for today. So let's continue. Visualize the events, circumstances, and conditions which these spiritual connections may assist in manifesting. Realize the fact that the essence and soul of all things is spiritual, and that the spiritual is the real because it is the life of all there is. When the spirit is gone, the life is gone. It is dead. It has ceased to exist. Science has taken so long to reach this conclusion, but eventually they will. However long it will take, they will get there. But you could get there ahead of the time. And you could use these for practical benefits in your life right now. And I mean right now. Like right now. So these mental activities pertain to the world within, to the world of cause and conditions and circumstances which result at the effect. It is thus that you become a creator. Finally, this is important work, and the higher, loftier, grander, and more noble ideas which you can conceive, the more important the work will become. How big can you dream? How big can you dream? Like, I was thinking, I'll be a little vulnerable here. I don't think I've ever said this live before, but why the hell not? I don't care at this point. I'm hyped. But I'm going to be a billionaire. I believe that. And I was listening to Grant Cardone yesterday, I think. I was in this event. I'm not going to go into much details, but I was Grant Cardone speaking live, and I listened to him, and he was telling me about this 10x strategy, and I was like so just in awe, because I was like, wow, he's saying, just taking 10x. Just think about it. We all know everyone has infinite potential. So is it possible that when we select our goals, that we might limit our potential? We might fail to not be going or using all of our potential. Is that a possibility? And when you think about it, of course it is. So he's like, 10x it. Whatever it is that your goal is, or your dream is, or what you want to do or accomplish, whatever that is, multiply it by 10 and do that. And he's like, he never knows how he's going to do it. He never knows before, how we're going to make 10 times as much. But that is the goal. And he determines to do it. And it usually gets done. So that blessed me. And I hope maybe it could bless you today too. So, overwork and overplay or over bodily activity of any kind produces conditions of mental apathy and stagnation, which makes it impossible to do the more important work that results in a realization of conscious power. We should therefore seek the silence frequently. What is the silence? I'll answer that at the end. Power comes through repose. It is in the silence that we can be still. And when we are still, we can think, and thought is the secret of all attainment. Thought is a mode of motion and is carried by the law of vibration, the same as light or electricity, which is well known, right? Thought is a little less known, but it's still known. It is given vitality by the emotions. When you emotionalize a thought, it becomes much more powerful. You give it vital force. And through the law of love, because love is one of the most powerful forces that exists, it takes form and expression by the law of growth. I'm going to be going through all of these laws, folks. So if you don't understand one, or one doesn't make sense to you right now, that's fine. Just keep coming back. You'll understand. If you're persistent and you're determined, you could always make it happen. So, it is a product of the spiritual eye. Thought is a product of the spiritual eye. Hence its divine, spiritual, and creative nature. From this, it is evident that in order to express power, abundance, or any other constructive purpose, the emotions must be called upon to give feeling to the thought, so that it will take form. How may this purpose be accomplished? This is the vital point. How may we develop the faith, the courage, the feeling which will result in accomplishment? This is a great question. The reply is simple. It's by exercise. How do you develop your muscles? You exercise, and mental strength is secured in exactly the same way that physical strength is secured, by exercise. We think something, perhaps with difficulty the first time. We think the same thing again, and it becomes easier this time. We think it again and again, it then becomes a mental habit. We continue to think the same thing, finally it becomes automatic. We can no longer help thinking this thing. We are now positive of what we think. There's no longer any doubt about it. We are sure. We know. This is beautiful and fascinating to me, because you could know and be wrong. So that's interesting to me. But I don't have the time to go into it right now. I'm bounded by time. We're chasing time. So yesterday I asked you to relax and let go physically. Today I'm going to ask you to let go mentally. if you practice the exercise given you yesterday, 15 or 20 minutes, in accordance with the instructions, you can no doubt relax physically. And anyone who cannot consciously do this quickly and completely is not a master of themselves. They have not obtained freedom, and they are still a slave to conditions. Might sound a little harsh, but it is the truth. It is the truth, and we need to just take it and look deeply within ourselves and see, how we could change it and become better. That's all. That's all we gotta do. So, today, we want to practice letting go. Not only physically, but mentally as well. Right? So, I'm going to assume that you have mastered the exercise and are ready to go to the next step, which is mental freedom. So today, after taking your usual position, remove all tension by completely relaxing. Then mentally let go of all adverse conditions such as hatred or anger, worry, jealousy, envy, sorrow, trouble, or disappointment of any kind. You need to let go of all of that. You may say that you cannot let go of these things, but you can. You can do so by mentally determining to do so, by voluntary intention and persistence. You must persist. The reason that some cannot do this is because they allow themselves to be controlled by the emotions instead of by their intellect. But those who will be guided by the intellect will gain the victory. You will not succeed the first time you try. That's all right. But practice makes perfect or probable. And in this, as in everything else, and so you must succeed in dismissing, eliminating, and completely destroying these negative and destructive thoughts, because they are the seed which is constantly germinated into discordant conditions of every conceivable kind and description. There is nothing truer than that the quality of thought which we entertain correlates certain externals in the outside world. This is the law from which there is no escape, and it is the law, this correlative of the thought with its object, that from the time immemorial has led all the people essentially to believe in a special providence. So, thoughts we entertain correlate certain externals in the outside world. I mean, this is what I've been talking about for the last couple of days, so I hope that makes sense to you now. So, you have your exercise for today. Today, we want to physically and mentally relax. And it's pretty simple because physical relaxation leads to mental relaxation and vice versa. Calm body, calm mind. Calm mind, calm body. So it doesn't really matter where you start, but you could achieve the calmness all around. So let's finish off this session with a little Q&A, and then we could set it off to go and have a beautiful week. So, 1, what is thought? Thought is spiritual energy. How is it carried? Well, by the law of vibration. How is it given vitality? By the law of love. How does it take form? By the law of growth. What is the secret of its creative power? Well, it is a spiritual activity. So that's by nature creative. How may we develop faith, courage, and enthusiasm which will result in accomplishment? by recognition of our spiritual nature. Most people, they're so physical, they think they are their body. I mean, actually, for most people, it's even worse than that, but let's not even go into that. People think they are the clothes. You know, you take the clothes from them and, well, Lord knows, they might just want to die. But you are more than clothes and raiment. You're more than just your body. You're even more than just your mind. Because those things change. What is the secret of power? Service. We want to be servant leaders. Big up man like Suave in the dance. So, why is this so? It's because we get what we give. Again, whatever it is you want, just go and give it away and you will get it back. You will get it back multiplied. Just keep giving whatever it is you want and you will get it back. I promise you. Just try. Try it for a month. Whatever it is you want this month, just give it to somebody else. And see how quickly you get it back. I have tried it and tested it and it works. What is the silence? I said I would answer it later. The silence is a physical stillness. Now, it is basically the still center of your body. Just like on a wheel, the center of the wheel, no matter how fast this wheel is spinning, the center of the wheel never moves. It stays constant. You have that still center within you. It's like the deep in the ocean that is unmoved. Even if the storms are raging on the surface, in the deep, you are calm. No stress, no worries, no anxieties, nothing to do, no responsibilities, just there to be. You need to go there every day. You could have a little vacation every day if you just go to the silence. And of what value is it? Well, it is the first step to self-control, self-mastery. So, if we really want to master ourselves, we must go into the silence. We must seek the silence every day. Every day. And in every day, in every way, we'll get better and better and better. So I hope you got some value today, folks. This was maybe a little different of a session, but whatever it takes to deliver the value, to follow through on my committed decision, I am determined to do it. So, thank you for your listening ear. Remember that we are rising high and we're going fast because this was built to last. So big up your whole self, folks, not half. Big up your whole self. So our goal here is to make individuals whole. Most of us, we're living below our potential. Living half, even so much, half our capacity. And I just want to make us whole. Fully integrated individuals who know who we are and what we want and determined to have it. So, have a beautiful day and a beautiful week. I'll see you back again tomorrow with some more morning mindset mastery. Check the link, not in the description. The link is on the event page. Morning mindset mastery.xyz. And I'll get into why that is later. But if you want to know a little more, you're a little interested, follow that link and you could learn some more. So have a beautiful day, folks, and I'll catch you back tomorrow for some more value.